The person that brought the person that had that accident, it's not the person's relative, someone in the base. So the fact that that man took the bold step of saving that person's life, at that moment, I wasn't thinking about getting this report. I immediately went into resuscitating and saving that particular guy. But I was able to save that particular guy that could have. You see what I mean? But I saved him. And the person that brought him felt good. And even up to now, the young man that brought him to the clinic that day, we are still in touch with their whole family, because you know how things are done in Nigeria. In the base, all the families you take care of, they kind of have a bond with you. So up till now, 20-something years after, we still have that special bond. So there are so many people you're going to save simply by simple intervention. So it's not about whether you have money or you don't have money, my brother. It's about encouraging our people to be attending events like this, because there are so many things we can do by ourselves that we're not going to rely on the government to do for us. There are so many modifications you can have for yourself. Because what I preach, I still have relatives in Nigeria. I always tell them, do everything you can to avoid going to the hospital, because even as a doctor, even my colleagues, if anything happens in Nigeria and I'm asking for favor, when I want to establish relationship with them, they will think that I'm now talking to them condescendingly because I'm in America. So some of them are not ready to exchange notes with me to co-manage. But the ones that are able to exchange notes with me and we co-manage, we save more lives. Because since 2015, I've been showing up, giving people free knowledge. If you follow my handle in TikTok, I've been giving people, before I came to this particular broadcast, I spent 2 hours teaching people freely. So it's all about the individual. It's all about what we can do for ourselves. Because guess what, my brother? Whether you like it or not, the government there don't care about nobody. They only care about themselves. But guess what? The rich also cry, because when you burn the bridges, when you have a need for the bridges, it's going to affect everybody. So the people that feel, oh, probably they have money and whatever, they are also victims of things that can happen. So the key word is to make sure we protect ourselves, we change our mindset. I always preach CAP, knowledge, attitude, and perception. So that your auntie or your relative that because of whatever money and that happened, I always want us to learn from things that happen accurately. And this is where social capital is important. You see, everybody in Nigeria is always pissed. Everybody is always shouting and doing all that. But in those whole storm, you can be the calm. Do you know that if you go to some facilities and everybody is going crazy, do you know that if you approach people differently, they can approach and treat you differently? By just being the calm voice. Do you know that even in that hospital where they're talking about money, do you know there is one person that could have overridden some protocols that could have done things differently for you? But when you go there and you're like, well, who are you? I'm this, I'm that. Do you know who I am? And by the time they are doing all those arguments, somebody's dying. Let me give you an example. In 2016 or thereabout, a vice chancellor of the school I attended to had a medical emergency, stroke, and they had a need to save him. In the school, in the teaching hospital of the school, he was vice chancellor of 5 years before. When they brought him to that teaching hospital, he was treated just like any other person. Until we have to intervene from here. And we started making arrangements outside the box, and we were able to move him immediately to a place. He had a private facility, and they immediately operated on him. That was how we saved him from America. A vice chancellor, a professor emeritus. If we did not do that, assuming there was a network problem when the doctor called us to intervene, by now he would have been, cadaver. So social capital is important. When you know people that matter, and you can only know people that matter when you attract good people. So if you're a good person, you're going to attract good people. So in your own little world, how good are you with people? Who are the people you call your close circle? Who are the people that will give you something way more than money? Like in my community, so many couples are going through infertility. Only few of them can afford IVF because it's very expensive. But guess what? There are so many churches in Nigeria that can sponsor all the couples having infertility in Nigeria. If they divert the funds they receive every Sunday to help those people, because it's those people that contribute all those little money to give them the affluence they're living. But most of them will rather prefer to go and be driving big cars and be using bodyguards without helping those women. So at the end of the day, thank you. Those couples that need IVF, because of few millions, they will not get it. But they believe so much in that church. They have spent 10, 20 years in that church, but they are not starting their own family. It's only when those few of them receive thinking that they move from that church that they begin to think outside the box. But that community could have used their social capital. There are other churches, there are some good pastors that will come and say, you know what, I've been watching this lady, she's been diligent. Pastors, well, please go and find out what she needs, and they can rally and sponsor her IVF, and she can succeed. There are some organizations that can sponsor IVF for their staff. So we just have to think more beyond money, because we all think about money. There are so many people that have billions in Nigeria, but the things that might send them to heaven or hell are just few thousands of things. So let's think about our micro environment.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Mama Biejo.